Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again for another guitar lesson. This week we're going to be looking at that lovely melody and chord progression from a piece called Bourée, which was famously adapted by Jethro Tull on their 1969 album Stand Up, obviously originally based on the composition by Bach. So for today, we're going to be actually learning the flute melody. This is quite often taught as a classical guitar piece in E minor. We're going to be playing it in D minor, and we'll also look at the chord progression as well. So, starting with the melody. Okay. So the first thing to note here is that we're playing mostly in the D harmonic minor scale. So that basically just means that we are playing a D minor scale with a major seventh interval at the end. So instead of going from the minor seventh, we just raise that upper fret to the D flat, or the C sharp really, and that gives us our harmonic minor sound. Okay, very nice. And occasionally we are going to dip into some a note from the major scale as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the notes for the melody. Starting off on the 10th fret of the E string, we're going to the 12th fret and the 13th. And we're going to walk back down those three notes, ending up on the 9th fret, which is that major 7th note that we mentioned before. And then walking back up to the 12th. So altogether that's 10, 12, 13, 12, 10, 9, 10, 12. Now notice that this has got a sort of a swing feel, and the whole style of this melody and this head that they play, and we'll see this in the rhythm guitar part as well, is very much a sort of almost like a trad jazz kind of vibe for this. Okay, so after that, I'm coming down with my pinky to the 10th fret of the B string, and we're going to be walking up the scale now from there to the 7th fret of the E, which is actually the major 6th, to the major 7th again, and then back to the tonic here. So we have a bit of a more of a major turnaround. Going back to the natural minor or harmonic minor sound now. Coming back up to the 13th fret B string, walking down 13, 11, 10. Continuing down the scale onto the G, so we've got 12, 10, 9. Walking back up the scale to the 10th on the B, via the other notes on the G. Back down the scale, pulling off from the 10th fret of the G to the 9th, and then ending up back at the tonic D note on the 12th fret of the D string there. So all together. So the key points to make sure that you pay attention to there, obviously the position shift down here to pick up the major 6th note, and then also that little pull off onto the 12th fret there, or from the G to the D string. Okay, that's the first half of the melody. Second half starts the same, walking up and down from the first degree of the scale to the second, to the minor third, and back down. Then we're going to slide all the way up to the 17th fret. And I'm just letting that slide do all the work. I'm not going to pick it again once I get up there. And I'm going to hit on the B string there the 18th fret before going back to the 17th with the pick again. Another bit of a major turnaround here, but this time I'm playing it on the G 14th fret, 16th, B 14th, and then B 15th. Back to our normal minor scale again, from the 13th of the B string, all the way down to the 10th fret G, but we sort of hang on that note a little bit. And we do this little trill between the 10th and the 9th. If you don't know what a trill is, it's just alternating quickly between hammer-ons and pull-offs. So slowly. And then going back to the 10th fret. Just a nice little inflection there at the end of the melody. Cool. So on to the chord progression then. Okay, so a very traditional comping style on this tune to complement that swung jazzy feel that they're going for with this adaptation. And I'm choosing to play that with just basic bar chord shapes really. So the shapes that we're using are D minor, of course. So that's from the A string root, so that's 5th fret bar, making a power chord shape here. So 5, 7, 7, 6th fret for your minor third there, and then barring onto the E string. Then we're going to an A major chord, which is the 5 chord of D minor. And to accentuate that, we're also going to use the dominant 7th chord there. So A7. So to do that, I'm taking my normal major chord bar, which is the same shape as the minor, but just starting from the E string, and taking my little finger off to expose the minor 7th note there. So it's pretty much 2 strums per chord. So we've got D minor, A major, A7, and then back to D minor. Coming now up to an F major bar chord using the A string as the root. So for a major chord, you're thinking like an A major chord shape as in down here, but we're sliding it all the way to the 10th fret and then picking up the root note here on the A string, 8th fret. Instead of using 3 separate fingers, I tend to just bar with the little finger or the 3rd finger there. Then we're going to a C major chord here, using the E string root, same shape as the A major. Back down to the A7 shape. Quick little 5-1 back to the D minor. So F major, C major, A7, and D minor. Second time around, starts off almost the same, well, starts off exactly the same, but instead of going back down to the D minor for the resolution, we end up on the F major for the resolution, which is the relative major chord for the D. So that's the chord progression for Bourée, and the melody, of course. Hope you have fun with this gorgeous piece, and I'll see you next time.